We have another Autistics Choose Your Fork moment. This time it's Autistics Choose Your Pasta, and it's perfect because I'm dressed like a piece of Taylor Swift themed pasta today. This shirt does not suit me at all, but I can't get rid of it because I remember it all too well. I feel like Taylor Swift fans are just being too loud at the moment and we all need to calm down. Anyway, looking very washed out and yellow, and we're gonna react to some actually autistic memes made by autistic people. My husband picked these out, so I haven't seen them. Let's go. I don't know, man, I panicked, the caption said, and this is the dress I bought. Do you like it? Be honest. You have to say you like it. It's a social norm. This little, I don't know, little ghost person. I don't know, he looks like a green colour, so it looks like it's a bad smell or something. A little smelly ghost. No, that would be a lie. Oh, there's another little ghost who's blue. We don't lie. Why? She said to be honest, but she might get offended. We have to answer though. Haha, dresses, they do be like that. What? Do you like the dress? Be honest. And then you go, dresses do be like that. Oh no, I'm cringing for you, Mrs. Cartoon. Yeah, my mom used to always, she's an artist and she's incredible and I can't do art for anything. And she used to ask me about her sculptures and she used to say, I always ask you because I know you'll give me the honest truth. And I'd be like, nose is too big. Doesn't look like the reference photo. I don't know, sometimes it can maybe be useful, or maybe she just put up with it because it was me. I don't know. I love the illustration of that though, even though one of the ghosts does look a bit fart-like. That kind of makes it cuter, but I don't know what that says about me. So I remember actually, I went on a night out with one of my friends from college, and this was after I'd left college, and I made a video kind of talking about my college experience and how I ended up masking a lot, and then I ended up in an autistic burnout that actually lasted for like 4 years because of how much I pushed myself. I met up with her after I'd already left college. I didn't go to university, but I went to see her university and get some of the university experience, go on a night out. The whole thing was kind of stressful because she had a whole bunch of friends that I didn't know, and they just, I don't know, they weren't really people that I vibed with that much. Vibed with, is that a word that I use? I don't know. Anyway, there was this one girl who was probably the kind of person who wouldn't have liked me very much in high school, but she was fine. She was sweet enough. But I remember her coming through and she'd done like some ombre lips and she was asking, how does it look? Like, be honest, be brutally honest. Because she'd said that, I was like, oh, now I have to criticize it in some way. So I was like analyzing it for like, I don't know much about ombre lips, but I'm going to try and think of something to say about it. And then my friend was like, oh yeah, it looks great. It looks amazing. So I was like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing here. Okay, I understand. And I was like, yeah, it looks great. I mean, she looked really nice. She was a really attractive human being, so it wasn't really a lie, but I just felt like because she'd been so insistent on be honest, I was like, we are expecting some sort of constructive feedback here. It can be tricky. Oh, this looks sad. I like this like mid-green color. I didn't realize I was meant to know how to do everything by my second rodeo. That's still a very low amount of rodeos. Okay. Because you say it's not my first rodeo. He's saying I didn't realize I was meant to know how to do everything by my second rodeo. And the poster of this is Spicy Little Brain. And the caption is, I simply do not want to attend any more rodeos. And yet against my will, more and more rodeos. Yeah. Again, it's similar to the last one. The feeling of like, I don't really know what's expected of me. And I don't know how everyone else is not lying on the floor with wiggly Mr. Tickle arms right now, but they're clearly not, so I'm obviously doing something wrong. Never understood the concept of bullying. Why the f*** are you mad that I'm ugly? It's dreadful, but it's great. I mean, again, I spoke about it in the burnout video because I spoke a lot about school in general, but yeah, people made me feel like the most dirty, worthless piece of poo under their shoe. Just chilling, walking down the corridor today, and some random girl started grabbing hold of my hair. There's these stupid girls who always like make fun of my hair, and they're in like the year below me. And I thought it must just be because I was the most ugly, hideous, disgusting person to have ever walked the earth, and therefore at various times in my life I've been very obsessive and perfectionist about trying to make my appearance great, but it isn't something I'm naturally particularly interested in, like doing hair and makeup. And I'm also a dyspraxic, so like doing my hair and stuff, and I'm not very dexterous, has always been kind of difficult for me. But I used to like, try my best. I'd like try and straighten my hair and look how everybody seemed to want me to look. Like they'd yell at me, get some hair straighteners down the corridor, so then I'd go and straighten my hair to hell, and then they'd still not like me. it just felt like there was nothing I could do. There would always be something wrong with me. And I'd look at other people and be like, well, they don't really try with their hair. They don't really try with their appearance. They don't really wear makeup. They just tie their hair up and they look fine. And everyone else thinks they look fine and it's all okay. But when I tie my hair up, it's the end of the world. But I think I didn't realize that actually they just could see there was something different about me. They just didn't really get me because I was an autistic person, and therefore they didn't really know why. So they just latched onto bullying me about my appearance, and I didn't understand why they weren't finding me likable. So I just latched onto my appearance too and was like, well, they must be right. Yeah, I must be too hideous to look at, and that's why they don't want to know me. We have another Autistics Choose Your Fork moment. This time it's Autistics Choose Your Pasta, and it's perfect because I'm dressed like a piece of Taylor Swift themed pasta today. Oh my gosh, which pasta shape are you? Don't kill me if I don't remember the proper names of all pastas. I'm sorry, I've eaten so much of it in my life. Really, it is a crime that I don't know, but I don't know. Lawful good, neutral good, and chaotic good. I don't really know what that means, but I think that that's kind of the point. So bow tie, I had a comment on a video because I used a video where it was like pasta pouring into a pan, and someone was like, is that the favorite pasta shape of autistic people? Because I feel like it comes up a lot. I haven't had bow tie for a long time. I feel like it's really nice to, you know, stab with the fork. I don't know, I just feel like it's satisfying to try and, you know, get it through the bow. Does anybody else feel like that? Like you have to stab through the bow. What else is on that row? I don't know what that is. The big kind of tube one. Haven't had that for ages as well. I think that's fine. At the moment, I think I prefer the bow tie. The chaotic good. I used to love the shells so much because when I used to have buttered pasta, and there was a while in primary school, this is what I associate it with, where I was allowed to go home for lunch because I was just finding it really stressful having to be there on the playground, and I was finding school too much, and I was getting overwhelmed, and my attendance wasn't good, and I was getting very upset by it, and so they kindly allowed me to go home for lunch with my mom. She came and fetch me, and we'd walk back to my house, and I'd have some pasta with butter and watch a bit of TV, and then I'd walk back for the afternoon school. I don't know how long it went on for, but I remember the way the butter, the melted butter, I wonder how much butter was on this pasta, and like the butter would like pool inside the shells, and like it was really good. So it just felt like extra buttery. Yeah, I think so far the shells are winning for me. Again, don't know the name. Macaroni, you know, it's alright. Again, haven't had it for a while. I just tend to have the next two, which are the penne and the swirly one on the end. True neutral and chaotic neutral. Those two are always the cheapest in the UK when you're just buying cheap pasta. And we're just really cheap, so we mostly just get the two of them, and like, they're fine. I've had them a lot. None of them in that row beat the shells. The shells are winning so far, so we're on chaotic good right now. What does this say about me? I don't know. It's like reading tea leaves, reading pasta shape preference. Lawful evil, yeah, that wheel looks pretty evil to me. That's probably my least favorite so far. But then we got spaghetti next at neutral evil. Yeah, I mean, spaghetti, the thing I don't like about it, and I do have spaghetti semi-frequently and it's fine, texture wise isn't my favorite. I prefer like the next one, that one. Why can I not remember what that's called? I feel like that's really obvious. I don't know. Anyway, that one I prefer. Spaghetti, it flings a lot, you know, like when you just like, if you've got quite a saucy, and I do prefer a less saucy meal, and if there's too much sauce, I'll probably end up leaving a bit of sauce at the end. Certainly not going to lick my plate clean, let's just say that. The sauce sometimes flings at you when you're trying to roll the spaghetti around the fork, and yeah, you just end up with little missiles of sauce coming at you, and that is icky. And as a child, eating spaghetti was just stressful. I didn't like mess, I didn't like food around my mouth. I don't know, like top three, definitely chaotic good number one, lawful good probably number two, so this person who left that comment might be right, and then maybe chaotic evil number three, despite the flinging, because I just like it. It's just good. What do you think? Maybe I'll leave a poll on the community tab where you can vote for your favorite pasta, and I'll put the actual proper names for them if you want. So subscribe and keep a watchful eye out for that, so that you can make sure that your favorite type of pasta wins the competition. Okay, it's just made me really want some pasta now, to be honest. And buttered pasta in a shell. Let me know in the comments which one are you. So I'm chaotic good. I'd like to think that that was me. Like, I know the chaotic part is for sure. The good part, yeah, I'm just hoping. This is neuroqueer posted this. I want to be alone with someone else who wants to be alone. Just you and me and our noise cancelling headphones completely ignoring each other. That's the caption. Yeah. Yeah, me and my husband were literally just having a conversation this morning because he was just talking about, being really introverted, and he'd done the personality quiz because in the last memes video that I recorded, I'd spoke about the whole INFJ thing and that being my personality type and that coming up seemingly quite commonly for some autistic people that they get that personality type. So he had actually did his again and he got the same as he did last time, which he kind of aligns with, but not as much as I felt like mine explained my whole life. He was just surprised by how much introverted, like what percentage introverted he gets. But I was like, yeah, you are really introverted. Your whole family is really introverted. Like that's probably why, we all get on so well. It was like, it's funny how like I would say, yeah, I love being alone, I'm introverted. He would say the same thing. We don't really, we like to go out and do different things sometimes, but we also love playing board games and reading books at home and just watching films and stuff, and that would be our preferred thing, and cooking meals together, even though I can't cook for shit because dyspraxia. I was just saying like how it feels like being alone when I'm with him, in the fact that I feel completely comfortable and we feel completely comfortable with each other. I mean, I still stim more if I'm on my own than I do with him, but mostly I feel completely comfortable. It's just funny how like, I don't know, I guess when you're really, really close with someone, they can kind of become an extension of yourself. I have seen people ranting about their partners and being like, oh my gosh, we have to sleep in a different room. Like they just get on my nerves sometimes. I really need my complete alone time. So I know not everybody feels the same way that I do, but yeah, I mean, I definitely do have times where I'm like, oh, I need space, I'm focusing what I'm doing, don't speak, but just let me get on with things and disappear with my noise cancelling headphones on like this says. But like I much prefer having him around to being completely on my own. He's just such an easygoing and upbeat person, so if I get stressed out about something, he'll probably just make a joke and he'll make me laugh, and it makes everything feel lighter and easier. So I think we've got quite well-matched energies in that way. Me, the same song on repeat, just autistic things. With exercise, I can sometimes do my whole 40-minute exercise routine basically just listening to the same song again and again because it's just the right song. This is the one that's going to make me exercise the best. But then also times in my life where I've been really sad. I remember listening to Robbers by the 1975 around the time when I left college again and again, and I feel like that song makes me feel so sad, and it was like fueling the sadness, and I just kept going and listening again and again and again. There's always like 3 songs that I'm really, really liking, and I'll listen to them until I know all the words basically, and then once I know all the words, it's like, okay, I've completed those songs, and then I'll move on to some more. At the moment it's Ethel Cain. I'm just getting into Ethel Cain, and she's autistic, which is really cool. Me, I'm having a lot of anxiety. Most people, oh no, what's wrong? Me, oh lol, nothing, this is just how being alive is for me. Autistic PDA life, Yep, that's it. And the problem is, when you live with anxiety your whole life, you don't always realize that you're living with it because it's just your normal, and you can't really identify what anxiety is. And I think you can get used to having like negative feelings in your body, and I think some ways that's how it can be quite easy for us to slip into burnout, because we get so used to pushing through negative feelings that we're not like, oh, I need to be careful because I'm maybe pushing it too far here, because like we usually feel some sort of slightly negative ways. How do I know which flavor negative is the too far flavor negative? Do you know? I don't know if anyone else relates to that, but I feel a bit like that. Yeah, and for my whole life I didn't realize. I talk about it in my video about traits of the PDA profile of autism. I didn't realize for like my whole life that feeling that I had of like doom and something looming over me and ominous and I'm gonna fail at everything I ever do and it's a truth that's just written in the universe was anxiety and not depression or dysthymia. Me trying to decide which variation of goodbye to say when someone is about to leave. All these different options surrounding you and you're like, which one do I choose? Anything where I have to make a decision, I feel like my brain just kind of short circuits, particularly if people are around me waiting for me to make a decision. Good morning, neurodivergents. I feel straight up wrong today, but I don't know why, says the caption. My husband always sings like, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. That is how it feels, all these options swirling around you. Like, that's why I've just decided I say have a nice day, but I don't always say it. Sometimes I mix it up a bit and it's stressful. Jessie the Sluggish, the person who posted this, is called, you are currently in a blob state. Do not attempt to do anything in a blob state. Petition to change the term burnout to blob state. Oh no. I feel like that's me like the week before my period, and like sometimes the first few days of it. Like there's definitely a few days where if I try and function, it just doesn't work. Oh, that's so cute, that poor blob. What's this? I love the picture already. Me accidentally put foods with the BadTexture trademark in my mouth and reselling my body. And sometimes I have to force it down. I still, as an adult, I'm forcing myself to eat vegetables, and I'm like, it's healthy, and I'm still there drinking down vegetables like they're pills, like not entirely chewing them and just swallowing them down. Oh, it gets better, but some parts of it don't get as better as I would like them to. I wish we could have subtitles in real life because I really can't hear anything anyone is saying to me. I'm the worst for like pretending I've heard things I haven't heard. Because I can't hear very well out of this ear if someone's standing on that side, like, I didn't hear you, but yes. Oh dear, yes, I love having subtitles on. I would certainly have subtitles on for all of life if I could, for sure. And it's so annoying when you like process something, you know, really delayed. Sometimes my husband's like, well, I said it to you and you didn't listen to me. And I'm like, if I was doing something and concentrating, you need to give me at least a minute to realize you're trying to interact with me. Stop what I'm doing for my brain to untangle itself, for me to calm down because I'll probably feel slightly irritated with you. And then you need to tell me nice and slowly and carefully, and then I might take in what you're saying, you know? When you're approaching someone in a long hallway and you're not sure when to begin eye contact. No, this is so the kind of thing that I overthink. Yeah, I'm so bad with like giving very quick eye contact to strangers. Like, oh, and it feels like, oh, like you're looking at the sun, like uncomfortable. Oh, and then look back away again and quickly smile as you look away like, I'm not crazy. Oh no, we've got salad fingers again. Did we need more salad fingers, Lewis? I don't know. We had a whole bunch of salad finger memes a couple of meme videos ago. I like rusty spoons. Hyping myself up for another day of sensory assaults and unwanted social interaction. You can do it, Mr. Salad Fingers. He has got hey, I've got long fingers. Do I have salad fingers? How to respond to DMs while neurodivergent. Step 1, open DM. Step 2, become overwhelmed. Step 3, decide to come back to it later. Step 4, oh shit, it's 3 weeks later and you did not come back to it. Oh no. I used to be quite strict with myself about replying to people. I would still read messages and then kind of not reply, but I'd have like reply sessions like, okay, right now you're gonna reply, and I'd be like very, you know, forceful with myself and be like, no, you've got to do it now. I think I'm more lax with myself these days, so I'm much worse at replying. I think it's just when you've got a child as well. I think in general people just struggle to reply to messages when you've got a child. So, and sometimes I'll half write a message and then my child will want to talk to me, and then I'll, you know, kind of not ever actually send the message and stuff like that. I want to be more present in the moment. I just would prefer for people to make plans to meet up with me, and then I'll spend time with them there rather than having to do messages. And I think it's fine to kind of say that. I'm getting a feeling in the pit of my stomach there's at least 3 messages that I know I need to reply to, and just time goes so fast, you know, time that you've ignored a message for just whizzes by like no other time. You'll go on and look and it's been like 6 months. And it's like, oh no, you feel so bad. But like, I think because our attention just gets pulled down these tunnels, unless I do it right there on the spot, I'm going to forget. But then if you reply right there on the spot, the person's going to reply to you immediately, and then you're going to reply to them immediately. And then you're just going to spend your whole day sending messages. Yeah, I think just because I get so focused and sucked into what I'm doing, I'm not got a part of my brain available to just reply to messages. Some neurotypical people just seem to constantly be replying to messages. How do you get anything done? But I suppose they also prioritize social stuff a bit higher on their hierarchy, which, you know, they're probably a better friend sometimes, so cool, like that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know, I just prefer to kind of make plans to see you can hold my whole attention for a bit and then we'll make another plan. But people are just not very good at making plans these days because it's just so easy to send a text and back out of it, and it just, for me, like sometimes the back and forth of organizing it, and then it just never ends up seeming to happen anymore. And so yeah, I don't know, I just find the whole thing a bit frustrating. I mean, if I have a social capacity these days, I kind of just want to spend it with my family more than anything at this point in my life. So whatevs, it's all good. What is this? When eye contact is forced onto you your whole life, so you start staring at people when talking and eventually they have to look away. Look at me, I'm the neurotypical now. I've been analysing people's eye contact a lot more since realising I'm autistic, because I was like, I don't have a problem with eye contact. And then I remembered a time where I'd been yelled at by a teacher and told to stand up for half an hour because my eyes were drifting too much. No, he said my eye contact was appalling. That was the quote from him. Anyway, so then I started noticing what I do a lot more, and I noticed, oh yeah, my eyes flit around a lot. I stare at fixed objects when I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm saying. And I noticed that I have a commentary in my head about making eye contact, and I notice how much eye contact other people make. Different people in my life are different. Like like people do look away. They don't typically just stare people down. And I think a lot of autistic people can end up giving too intense eye contact because they've been told you need to make eye contact, it's more professional, And also, I only recently heard that apparently people can think you're lying when you don't make eye contact. I suppose that makes sense, like you're looking at the floor, like you've got something to hide. Or I think sometimes there's things about, oh, if people look a certain direction, I don't know which way it is, it's supposed to be because they're lying. But for me, it's because I'm just thinking about what I need to say, even if it's the truth. It still isn't, you know, at the tip of my tongue always. So yeah, that's interesting. I'd never thought about that, and I heard it in the context of like, you know, it might be good to have an official diagnosis, because like, what if you got into some sort of legal thing and then people thought you were lying, or something with the police and they didn't believe you because they thought you looked a bit shifty. I mean, yeah, these are the kind of like real, not to scare anyone on this fine day, but you know, the real potential consequences of people immediately making negative judgments about autistic people. Shout out to that one person that hears you when you're talking in a group and smiles and replies to you when no one else is even paying attention, so you don't feel like a complete waste of space. Yes, I can sometimes be that person for the people. My husband always does it for me when we're out. He always is listening to what I have to say. That's really sweet, isn't it? But it makes me feel so embarrassed. It's like a pitying, like, yes, just replying to me about the story that he's already heard me tell 100 times as if I just meant it just for him. Oh, it's the worst feeling, but he can relate. He's quite a quiet person, so he's had this happen to him a lot. We connected on that when we got together, like we both had that experience. I love that. I love the all caps. That's great. Brilliant execution. What is this? This is great. The sentence in my mind, literally the same sentence, but I try to say it out loud. So often I'll have like great epiphanies, even just to my husband. I'll have like a great epiphany about something. Oh my God, I found the secret to the universe. I've decoded everything. I am a genius. And then I'll try and like say this, you know, essay that I've created in my head out loud to him. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. It's all jumbled. It makes sense in my head, okay? Every email I ever send, hello, I'm extremely excited to be corresponding with you. You can tell by the number of exclamation points I use. Here is one sentence with a period so I don't come across as manic. Thanks. Oh no. My mom's terrible for exclamation marks. She does like a million. It's weird because she's quite a quiet introverted person as well. It's like her persona on messages is just so loud. I'm like, chill out. I do like a good exclamation mark. Yeah, because you can't always use emojis because that's not professional. So it's like you do want to seem like keen. You want to seem smiley without using a smiley face. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I agree. One full stop. You don't want to look too blunt. Yeah, these are the things you got to think about for sure. Then you don't want to look manic. It's true. And also sometimes people think you're shouting. I once had a conversation with someone and they got really funny with me, and it turns out they thought I was putting exclamation marks on because I was trying to suggest I was shouting at them. I don't know. So yeah, it can be, you have to be careful with that, you know? There's no tone, which is the one thing I like about the email, because I don't have to, you know, worry about my tone and my face and all that stuff. I don't mind an email correspondence. It's all right. Is it 5 p.m? Oh well, time for breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm starving. When you eventually eat something. Neuro memes. When my husband was studying, yeah, it's embarrassing how bad I am at feeding myself. I mean, smoothies are quite good. Often what I would do, which might be a useful tip, I don't know, is to exercise and then make myself a really big smoothie. It would, you know, be a substantial amount of calories and lots of protein powders. Like higher protein things tend to be more satiating, keep you fuller for longer. So yeah, that could be quite useful. Like if you know you're going to get stuck into hyperfocus and you don't want to be interrupted by hunger, and you just kind of want to get your eating out of the way, and you also know that you, even if you are hungry, you might not actually stop what you're doing because you're so into it and you don't want to get dizzy, because sometimes I would be walking to fetch my son at the end of the day having eaten basically nothing and just feel unwell, or I'd just start eating like junk that was just available because I'd be like, ah crap, I'm starving, I haven't eaten anything, and that's not great either health wise. Obviously Huels, I like Huel, they're quite good. They're like a kind of meal replacement drink, and we have to kind of be honest with ourselves. If it's not easy, there is a high chance if we're into doing something else, we're probably not gonna do it. Me getting into the shower, no, I don't think I will. Me getting out of the shower, no, I don't think I will. I don't really mind getting into the shower so much. Getting out has always grossed me out. Having the wet hair on my back, I tie my hair up in a towel, I put a shirt on, and then I take it down. Even if it's like really hot weather and I've just got out of a warm shower and I'm dying, I have to put like a shirt on or a dressing gown to kind of protect my skin from my wet hair, and then just brushing my hair because my scalp is sensitive, and then getting ready feels like really demanding, and it's just like, oh, it's a lot. I just I used to definitely see how little I could get away with showering when I was a teenager for a few years. But that's quite common for autistic people. Oh no, it happened to me and it can happen to you too. I was hanging out with two people and the one I know better left the room for a few minutes. Oh no, it's the worst thing when you're like rooting through your brain for something to say and then you kind of like, oh, I hope the other person doesn't think this is as awkward as it feels to me, and you feel like, oh, I don't know, embarrassed on their behalf as well. Yeah, no, it's stressful. It's stressful. Me and Introvert, the Uber driver who didn't talk for the entire ride. What on earth is going on there? Oh, I see. I get it. I didn't know what she was doing. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Just a nice, polite hello, goodbye, and then just, yeah. When I'm drunk, I've had some good chats. I'm trying. Your best? God, I hope not. But yeah, probably. Oh no, that's just sad. Oh, you poor little thing. That's all from this piece of pasta today. If you haven't seen my last actually autistic memes video, there was a very beautiful Thomas the Tank Engine sock featured in the last one, and also the world's worst demon chair. So if you would like to see either of those objects, maybe you might want to check out the last one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.